Morning, chickens. Before I post the video of the first reading for The Alchemist, hopefully several of you are already interested in beginning the journey of the read yourself, but you will have a couple of chapters and some kind of multiple choice comprehension questions due for the end of the week. And then we'll start our first journal entry next week. So with this video, I'm attaching your guidelines for your personal quest project, which is your summative project for the end of the quarter. So far, the governor has said that we're going to be at least sheltered in place until the 20th of May. So this project will be due around like the end of that week or maybe the following week, because we're not quite sure how we're going to proceed through June, because normally the school year would end on June 16th, so that only gives us 2 more weeks. So because we don't know exactly, just keep it in mind that this personal quest project is due in a month. So I'm just going to read it through to you because I know some of you don't really like to read on your own. I tried to color code it so that it's straightforward. Because this project is, you're going to spend a month on it, each week you have to write a journal entry, and I'm also going to post the journals online on Classroom with each prompt attached. So you just click on the prompt and then you write your response. To each prompt, it should be at least 100 words. So, aim for a page double space if you can, ultimately. So I'll just read through the whole thing. So, Coelho's 1987 masterpiece, The Alchemist, follows a boy named Santiago as he goes on a journey. Although Santiago is allegedly looking for treasure near the pyramids of Egypt, his journey ends up being more about finding himself than finding anything mystical. You'll see that. Oh, sorry. Not mystical, material. That means, that means like success or being rich. So he finds more than that. When talking about his novel, The Alchemist, in interviews and lectures, Coelho frequently uses the term personal legend. And I attached quite a lot of interviews to that Screencastify presentation I gave you, so I would highly recommend them. As we go along, I might reattach the ones in case you didn't have a chance to look at them. Many strands make up Coelho's idea of a personal legend, and we will examine these as we read through the novel. For now, the term might be loosely defined as one's picture of oneself in relation to the larger universe. And I feel like this is a very fitting project because a lot of us, given, where we are right now, a lot of us are looking inside, looking internally, getting in touch with our internal nature, our internal landscape, and trying to find out what sustains us, what's our purpose, that kind of thing. Is that happening for you guys? Coelho believes that the attainment of a personal legend is the key to happiness, but as Santiago discovers, a personal legend can be discovered if one is willing to let go on a quest that will lead one to it. Over the next month, I would like you to go on a personal quest, a journey that will lead you towards some kind of understanding of yourself and of your personal legend. Needless to say, your quest does not have to be physical. Well, it can't really right now because we're stuck at home. Although there can be some physical components to it. So, for instance, this is kind of a shallow one, but let's say you want to, actually, that's not so shallow. So let's say you wanted to focus on your health. Okay, so please don't everybody do this. Be more creative. So let's say you want to focus on your health in this time of disease. So for a month, you want to really track your nutrition and what you're consuming. If you have that luxury to eat very healthy, or at least healthier than you used to. Like for me, I've been eating a lot of chocolate chip cookies lately, and I could probably cut back on those, but it's really hard because now I'm craving them, and every night I just want one at the end of the night. And come on, I didn't do that before, but it's like, I guess it's like my little coping mechanism. Because, I kind of miss going out, as I'm sure we all do. Sorry, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So So along with the health, it might be like I want to exercise a little bit more every day. Like for me personally, I have this app on my phone called the 7 Minute Workout, and it's a free app. And you just get up in the morning and you make yourself do 7 minutes of exercise. They switch it up, and then that kind of jumpstarts your day. Okay, so that might be a personal quest that I would set for myself in order to improve my overall well-being, make me feel more confident, that kind of thing. Okay. So your quest will be more symbolic, emotional, artistic, personal, spiritual, and intellectual, or perhaps a combination of all of these. So this is almost like a prep for your college essay. In fact, this could really help you with your personal statement, or at least to start thinking in that realm, because a lot of you will be having to well, some of you have written them already, actually, but definitely they should be done over the summer. Okay. You will document your quest in a series of online journal entries. So it's just one doc, and you're going to keep adding to it. Each week during your study of The Alchemist, you'll click on the blue link in your Google Doc from the journal prompt. There are 4 in total, and you'll try to respond to it in at least 100 words. You are encouraged to write as much as you like. Written guidelines will be given for each journal entry. It's clear so far? Your personal quest, that's the final presentation, will culminate in an individual oral as well as visual presentation. So here are the guidelines. And so I'm reading them to you so that, and if you have any questions, please email me. This is really important because we want you to start beginning your quest so you don't feel behind, okay? So journal entry 1, defining your quest. So we're probably going to have that due. Actually, we are going to have that due for Tuesday. So by Tuesday, the 21st, I want you to have completed journal entry 1, okay? We have class today, tomorrow, we drop Monday, and then by Tuesday at 3 is when your first journal entry will be due. So over the weekend, you can have a think about this. So your task for this journal entry 1 is to define and design your quest. Begin by asking yourself a few mind-numbing questions. Okay, so these are questions, and then I would time yourself for at least like 10 to 20 minutes. Just set a timer. And then brainstorm on the first page of your journal entry. Just brainstorm answers to these questions. Like just jot them down, because sometimes the first things that come to mind when you write them on paper or type them out will be like the most useful to you because you're not overthinking them. So some of the questions are, what do I personally believe to be the greatest source of human happiness or satisfaction? A lot of you had written about that in your cloning essay, so a lot of you know about what it does, what it means to make humans happy. If not, I highly recommend this podcast. I'm going to send you guys the link. I've been listening to it like weekly. It's by this Yale professor who offers a course in positive thinking and happiness. And she just posts like updates on like ways to be happy. And like the bottom line is that in times of crisis like these, rather than being so individually focused on your own needs and your own wants, if you are others oriented, if you are giving to others, if you're helping others, if you have a sibling that's really not doing well with this whole digital learning thing, and you volunteer, you help the sibling like focus with the work, or if your parent is like overworked and really tired by the end of the day and you help around the house a little bit, that is supposed to ultimately bring you happiness because it brings other people happiness. Also, what are the greatest impediments to the achievement of happiness? So impediments means like faults, like what is standing in the way of being happy? Then what are some of the central driving forces that impel people forward in their lives? Like what gets people going? What forces or motivations have impelled me forward in life so far? What gets you going? If I could choose one burning question about life that I could find the answer to, what would it be? What are some of the paths that might be taken towards finding the answer to this question, right? That's like the ultimate soul-searching thing, like maybe searching for something more spiritual and otherness, like something that has more depth than just like our physical reality. What are some aspects of myself, my personality traits, my behavior patterns, my motivations, my basic nature, my influences, my passions and obsessions that I am wrestling with or trying to understand, and how might I go about understanding them? Okay? So, like, some personal stuff. So, fill at least half a page of your journal, brainstorming loose answers to these questions. Examine your page to see if any patterns emerge, right? Maybe you might like keep saying the same thing, but in different phrasing, it kind of stands out to you. Are there certain themes that run through your brainstorms? Can you discern any kind of inclination or direction toward them? Because then, for the journal entry, finally, you have to make conclusions about the brainstorms and define and describe your personal quest. So, your quest does not have to be towards something that can be achieved, right? Like, oh, I hope to gain ultimate confidence in who I am as a person based on this experience. That's really hard to achieve because we're constantly evolving and we doubt ourselves all the time. I just taught a yoga class that I blew. It was so well planned. It was like the rise of the phoenix, rising from the ashes. It had so many great themes. I was dressed like a bird with fire. And I forgot a whole side, and I was really annoyed at myself because I spent so much time planning it, and then I just forgot what I was supposed to say, and it was horrible. But here I am now. I'm talking to you, chickens, and try not to let yourself, like, don't beat yourself up for making a mistake, right? We all tend to do that. So yeah. So your personal quest doesn't have to be something that you like have to achieve. Like, for instance, David, you might have one like, I want to memorize 5 Shakespeare monologues by the end of the month. Well, that might be a little bit challenging, to wrap your head around the old English text. So you can set a goal, but if you don't reach that goal, that's fine too. Don't be hard on yourself, but it should be potentially achievable. So it shouldn't be don't set the goal too low and don't set it too high. So in 100 words or more, describe a personal quest that you will undertake over the next month of your life, and briefly explain why this quest is of personal significance to you and how you hope that it will enlighten you or otherwise enhance your life, okay? So as you devise and describe this quest, give some thought to how you might begin to undertake it. Your next journal entry will involve writing a description of your method and mapping out a timeline. So that's really important. So you'll have a week to, the next week it'll be due, probably like the following Monday. So you have to plan and carry out your quest. So now you've decided what the nature of it is. You have to map out a strategy, and you have to have a timetable. So like you want to devise a concrete game plan. So, like, let's say, going back to the nutrition thing, like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I want to, stick to, 3 meals a day, like, no sugar or carbs for those 3 days. But then also giving myself flexibility so that on the weekend I can eat whatever I want, so that, I'm not depriving myself. And then, like, the exercise, let's say you do, like, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, right? Like, so you map out the time that you're going to spend, and then, like, the journal entries and, like, fitting all that in. Maybe you want to set the goal of, like, getting straight A's or something like that, right? And then you really have to manage your time. So you have to, in this journal entry, you have to include the methods, so activities, strategies, methods that you'll use to carry out your quest. So for instance, David, if you're doing the Shakespeare monologue, maybe like 9 o'clock every morning, you're going to run through, you're going to do your vocal work exercises because you're a singer, and maybe you're going through the rhythm, and maybe you're trying to repeat lines over and over again, like you want to stick to a routine. But here's another example. So let's say your quest is to learn more about your lineage and heritage, right? So like if you want to learn more about where you come from, and that might be a nice thing to do, like whilst you're stuck at home with family. You could have a long conversation with a grandparent or family member. You could examine photograph albums, family trees, family documents. You could do internet research about your lineage. You could reflect and write down your thoughts about your family, that kind of thing. Timetable, keep in mind that your quest must be complete by May 22nd. Okay, that's the tentative due date for now. It might change depending on how long we're in school. So you have to make a preliminary decision about where and when you'll carry out your quest. Like, obviously it's in your house, but Like, talk about the space. Like maybe you have limited space, so that's been really hard to work around that kind of thing. I have to do yoga in my room every day, and it's not fun. I keep kicking walls and like falling over and bumping into windows. So let's see. So your timetable might be spread out over several weeks or days, or you might just, it might just take just like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, really intense. This is what I want to find. I mean, I wouldn't suggest doing that because, as you're reading the book, it might be nice to like pace yourself with your quest. But like here's another example. So if you're analyzing your own dreams for your personal quest, you might want to keep a dream journal and write your dreams down every morning. But if you're planning to beat your working at home record, you might want to attempt to do so in a single afternoon, that kind of thing, right? Projected outcome, jot down some thoughts about what your expectations of your quest are at this stage. What problems or obstacles do you think are going to come up for you? Like maybe it's space, time, family members getting in the way, that kind of thing. What are your fears or worries? Like just be open with that. And what do you hope to learn, gain, feel, or discover? Okay, so do you guys understand that so far for journal entry 2? And don't worry, like week per week, I'm going to repeat all of these anyway. I just want you to know like where we're going, where we're headed. Because a lot of you want to know like, what's my final summative? No, we're not writing a 5-paragraph essay, guys. We're doing a project. So this is meant to be fun and this is meant to be for you. And it's also meant to help you think about like, who you are as a person, what you have to offer the world. Like once we're done, and some of you are graduating soon, like, how are you going to make your impact on the world? So as you write down your thoughts about the above, keep in mind that your final journal entry number 4 will be a piece of writing that you do after you've completed your quest. And keep in mind that you'll be presenting, you'll be posting your presentation for the rest of the class to see. Using an online platform. So like hopefully a lot of you have had experience like Screencastify, WeVideo, Vimeo. Those are all pretty easy to use. Maybe some of you want to do I'm not allowing Google Slides. Like you could do Screencastify of Google Slides, but it has to be like a film, okay? Then journal entry. Okay, so journal entry 3 is the written piece. That's probably the most important one. So when you've completed the quest you've mapped out for yourself, you have to produce a piece of writing that captures the essence of your quest. So there's no set guidelines for this piece. It could be any length, but it has to be longer than 100 words in any genre. So like maybe it could be in the form of a poem, in the form of an interview. Like you can be creative. And you might you could write a song, you could write a play script, you could write a short story, you might feel inclined to engage in philosophical reflections, like you can write it in stream of consciousness, you can just write down your thoughts, you can like write down a dialogue that you've had with someone you love or hate or whatever. So the only requirements for the written piece are you have to submit it after your presentation is uploaded. And it must be genuine and heartfelt. It must do justice to your quest, and it should be completed on the day of the due date of your presentation. Blah blah blah. Okay, so the guidelines for the personal quest presentations. The purpose of your individual oral presentation is threefold. You want to share your personal quest with your peers. You want to practice your public speaking skills on an online setting, and you want to make the most of your digital learning toolkit that's available to you. So this really gives us a chance to finally use some technology, which is the wave of the future, and that's probably where we're headed now. So I don't want to be prescriptive about the form your presentation should take. So like although I said it has to be in the form of a video, you have to record yourself. It should be 3 to 5 minutes long. It should be taken up with you speaking most of the time because you're presenting your personal quest. It should capture the essence of your quest. You can use whatever images, film footage, animations, drawings, or designs, that's like appropriate for class. And then like beyond these guidelines, the sky is the limit. You can dance, sing, perform. You can include background music, like an animated slideshow, a video. You can include interactive parts to your presentation. such as role play or a question and answer. You can bring in additional objects such as family photo albums, okay? So I hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.